Section 82 of The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, translated by Courtney Langdon. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Paradiso, Canto 15. The Fifth Heaven. Mars, the happiness of heroism. Martyrs of religion and altruism. Cacciaguida.
The kindly will, wherein is always shown the love which is by righteousness inspired, as greed is in the evil will revealed, silence imposed on that sweet singing lyre, and caused those holy chords to be at rest, which heaven's right hand slackens and draweth tight. How shall those substances to righteous prayers be deaf, who ceased from song with one accord, to give me the desire to pray to them? 'Tis well that he should boundlessly lament, who for the sake of that which lasteth not, deprives himself for ever of that love. As through serene and quiet evening skies there darts from time to time a sudden fire, which startles tranquil eyes that were at rest, and seems to be a star which changes place, saving that naught is missing where it flashed, and that itself lasts but a little while. So from the arm which to the right extends, down to that cross's foot, there ran a star drawn from the constellation shining there. Nor from its ribbon did the gem depart, but through the radial band ran on, and looked like fire when back of alabaster moving. With the like affection did Anchises' shade reach forth, if our best muse deserve belief, when in Elysium he perceived his son.
O thou, my blood, O overflowing grace of God, to whom, as unto thee, was e'er the gate of heaven unlocked a second time?
Thus spoke that light, hence I thereto gave heed. Then to my lady turning back my face, I was on this side and on that amazed, for such a smile was glowing in her eyes, that I with mine thought I had touched the depths both of my grace and of my paradise. Thereat, a pleasure both to hear and see, the spirit joined to his beginning things I did not fathom, so profound his speech. Nor did he hide himself from me by choice, but by necessity, for his conception set itself higher than a mortal's aim. And when the bow of his impassioned love had so relaxed its tension that his words descended to the level of our mind, the first thing that was understood by me was,
Blessed be thou, that trine and one, hast been so courteous to my seed.
And he went on,
A pleasing and a long protracted fast, derived from reading in the mighty volume, wherein nor white nor dark is ever changed, hast thou relieved my son within this light in which I now address thee, thanks to her, who for the lofty flight hath feathered thee. Thou deemest that to me thy thoughts flow down from him who primal is, as from a one, if known it be, proceeds a 5 and 6. Yet who I am thou dost not ask of me, nor wherefore I appear to thee more glad than any other in this joyous throng. Thou deemest what is true, because the small and great of this life at that mirror gaze, wherein before thou think, thou showest thy thought. But that the holy love, wherewith I watch with sight perpetual, and which causes me to thirst with sweet desire, may be fulfilled the better, let thy voice, firm, bold, and glad, proclaim the will, proclaim the wish, whereto my answer has already been decreed.
To Beatrice I turned, and she had heard before I spoke, and smiled a nod to me, which caused the wings of my desire to grow. Then I thus, when the first equality revealed himself to you, wisdom and love became for each of you of equal weight. Because the sun, whose heat and light illumed and warmed you, is of such equality, that all comparisons therewith are poor. But in the case of mortals, will and speech, because of reasons manifest to you, are differently feathered in their wings. Hence I, who mortal am, now realize this inequality, and render thanks with heart alone to thy paternal greeting. I earnestly beseech thee, living topaz, set in this precious jewel like a gem, that with thy name thou make me satisfied.
O thou, my leaf, in whom I pleasure took, while still awaiting thee, thy root I was.
He thus, as he replied to me, began, and then he said to me,
The one from whom thy family is named, and who hath circled the mountain for 100 years and more around the first ledge, was my son, and thy great-grandsire. Well behoveth it that thou shouldst shorten by thy works his long fatigue. Florence, within the ancient ring of walls, from which she still receives her tierce and nones, sober and modest still, abode in peace. No bracelets had she then, nor coronets, nor dames with ornamented shoes, or belts more likely to be looked at than themselves. Nor did a daughter frighten yet at birth her father, for her marriage age and dowry outran in neither way due measure yet. No houses had she void of families, nor yet had a Sardanapalus come to show us what could be achieved in halls. Not yet had Montemalo been surpassed by your Ucellatoio, which outdone in its ascent will be so in its fall. Belincion Berti going girt I saw with bone and leather, and his lady leave her looking-glass without a painted face. And Nerli's lord I saw, and the Delvecchios with unlined skins contented, and their dames with spindle and with thread. O lucky women! Sure of her burial place was each, and none as yet deserted in her bed for France. One stayed awake, absorbed in cradle cares, and used in comforting, the speech which forms a father's and a mother's first delight. Another from her distaff drawing flax, repeated for her household olden tales about the Trojans, Fiesole, and Rome. As great a marvel then would a Ciangella or Lapo Salterello have been held, as Cincinnatus or Cornelia now. To such a calm and beautiful town life, to such a safe community, to such a pleasant inn did Mary, called aloud, give me. And at the same time I became, within your ancient baptistry, a Christian and Cacciaguida. Moronto was my brother, and Eliseo. From the Po's valley came my lady to me, and from her name thine was formed. The Emperor Conrad afterward I followed, and among his chivalry he belted me a knight. By my good deeds I so obtained his favour. In his train I went against that law's iniquity, whose people, through your shepherd's fault, usurps your jurisdiction. There, by that vile folk, was I relieved from that deceitful world, the love of which debases many souls, and from my martyrdom attained this peace.
End of Paradiso, Canto 15.